Hi, I'm Pete, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the Boox Nova 3. In particular, not just the books, but this new writing experience. I've been a Kindle user forever. Absolutely love it. Would take it everywhere with me. And I also would, if I can, in my case, I would slide a little notebook in and regularly take notes. I found I was filling up a lot of notebooks. And I wanted just one device that did two things. I want to be able to read my books, and I want to be able to take notes from those books. That's it, or PDFs. I didn't want a full tablet. The way I use my Kindle is that I never connect it to Wi-Fi. Same with the way I use my books. It's only connected if I want to download a book or upload documents. It's not used as an email reader or any other device. So very, very focused device. And when I got this, I gotta say, I was really impressed with it. It's not as good a reading experience as the Kindle. The Kindle app on Android just doesn't work as well as Kindle. Navigating the books it's okay. It's not great. I really wish there was an easy way to just switch between app and notes. That's not really dialed at the moment. Hopefully they'll make some improvements to the UX. And so after I had this for about 2 months, and I was using the standard pen, which is fine, it's nothing great, but I noticed the wear on the tip of the stylus, and it was getting worse and worse. And I thought, okay, now I'm gonna have to replace this. Uh, Maybe they sent me some. I don't know. I lost them if they did send them to me. And so on Reddit, I asked, what pen do people recommend that you get to use with the books instead of just going out and buying new nibs. I didn't want to be buying nibs all the time. A lot of people, people said Staedtler. A few other pens got mentioned, but I asked specifically about the Heart of Metal from Supernote. And the response that came back in very Reddit fashion was, don't you dare use that pen, that'll destroy your screen. The reason being, this has, I believe it's a graphite nib that does not wear. So Supernote says it's only to be used with their screen because they've got the special protection, and I kind of went, yeah, is that really, do I really want to believe that? So I got the pen, and gotta say, like right out of the box, I was really impressed with it. It has a really nice weight to it. It's well built. Plastic down here. The only thing it doesn't have that I wish it had that I lose over this pen is the eraser. And I've actually toyed with the idea of, oh, can I somehow make an eraser that will either fit on the end of this end of the pen? But the weight is really quite nice. The click when you put it together is really quite satisfying. And so, the first thing I did was let's take it to the Nova 3. And just down here off the screen where it's not going to bother me at all, let's just see like how much does it scratch. And I did this for a little while and looking and looking, and there's nothing visible there. There's no visible scratches. So I thought, do I want to risk it over time? That it's gonna eventually, put little scratches that I'm not gonna notice, and then all of a sudden I'm gonna find that I've got a scratch screen. So I went with a screensaver. By the way, the only other negative to the books is when you first get the screensaver, as everyone always says, the screensaver that comes with it is horrendous. They need to change that. They need to either install it at the factory or buy from another supplier because there's no way you can get that thing on without air bubbles. I've managed pretty well with this one here, but I bought a few. I kept trying different screen protectors, and no matter what I saw that I thought was going to be sort of paper-like, they ended up being this plasticky stuff, which you really do lose that nice feel. Writing on the screen itself here is actually pretty nice. This screen protector wasn't very nice. I finally now got this from Bursem, which is paper-like, jot till you drop. I got the one that was 12.4 inches, made for the Samsung Galaxy Tab 7, and you have to slice it to fit it onto this size screen. I'll end up getting about 4 screensavers, it seems, out of that one package. They installed really nicely, no air bubbles. My cut job was not great, but it still looks pretty good. Hopefully I'll do a better job next time. And so then it comes down to, so what's the writing experience like on that Bessemer? Because this is the only one that so far I would even recommend that you get. I'm not even sure what the other ones were because they're just not worth it. And it's okay. I don't. You can hear that. I'll give you a little sound. Everyone does the you know, there's some texture to it. It feels a bit like a drawing paper, quite grainy, thicker ply, what I'm used to from back in my art school days. That's what it feels like, which isn't to me a natural feeling for what I want to write on. As well, I'm just noticing actually, maybe I was putting more force in before. Depending on the amount of force you use, you do get the feel like you're pushing into plastic. That bit of unnatural drag. So I'm going to say the Bessemer is not, Burst M, sorry, is not perfect. I may continue trying others. I'll see how I go with this for a few weeks, but it's better than the others that I've tried. And like I said, I may just get rid of the screen protector and go back to the natural screen. But the concern about like, can you use this with a screen protector? Can you use it with a natural screen? I'm going to say that anybody who says, no, 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 only use that on Supernote screens, nothing else, should reconsider. I'll give you a little, like, does it actually write? Of course it writes, just like anything else. And the speed is exactly the same. The performance is the same. I actually feel like I'm getting more used to it as I write with it. It's actually starting to feel a little bit better, but it's not as good as the natural screen. I've never used any of the other devices. This is the only sort of writing screen that is supposed to be paper-like that I've used is the natural one on the Boox. The screensaver that came with the Boox I used for a few days, but you can't get it without the air bubble, so I tore that off. And then this Burst M version. I do say I really hope that Kindle comes out with their own Kindle version that can take notes. I assume they're working on it because these things are becoming popular enough that it's a big enough market for them to say, hey, we've got this market already. Let's just add a good notebook feature, notes taking feature. And I would say without Boox making a significant improvement to the UX or UI, I'd probably switch back to Kindle. The problem that I have with Boox UI, the Android app is not as good and not as simple to use as as the native Kindle. And the other thing is switching between the reading a book and going to take a note on that book is cumbersome. It feels like it's a long way to go. I'll show you what the experience is. Actually, I'll go into my apps, Kindle. So now let's say I'm reading this book and now I want to go and take a note. It's a double click down here to bring up this menu and then note, and then choose the note that I want to go to. And then to get back to the book, it's again double tap. And sometimes that double tap doesn't work so well. So double tap and then back into the Kindle. What I would love is just, home button. What was the last thing that I was on? Switch me back. But, this is now back to this. Or, double click on the home button. What does that do? But it's not a nice, smooth, consistent experience. Now, the other thing is to say all the notes I take are not related to my reading. So I've got meeting notes in here as well. So it's not like I only want to say, go from book to note, keep those links together, and now take me somewhere else. I would really like to be able to still take meeting notes and all that kind of stuff. So we don't want to remove the notes. Having a note connected to your book would also be really nice if, when Amazon gets to this. But yeah, it's really that switching between apps that I feel could be smoother. Of course, it doesn't make sense for Boox to make it smoother because this is the experience that they're going for. They're trying to build a lot more stuff into this than simple reading and note-taking. I don't use this for anything else. I don't connect it to the internet unless I'm getting a book or, possibly uploading my notes, which I don't really do much of either. So for my experience, I want that a very focused reading experience, no distractions from my email coming in or anything else that they have on here, and note taking, and that's all I want. And so this is doing it for now, but it is not enough of a focused device. Of course, things like what's the big tablet that everyone's talking about? There are a bunch of books out there that are too note-taking specific and don't have the ability to read, so that's of no use to me either. So a bit of a happy medium in there. Basically, if it's something that I would do on paper today, give me a digital version. Maybe that's a nice way of looking at it. Is people that transferring paper to digital. So I don't need a clock. That's not something that I use in paper. I don't need email because that's not paperable. Calendars are kind of not really paper anymore. So that would be my advice to people thinking about this device or this type of device. And Amazon, if you're looking and listening, that's the sort of thing that I'm looking for in my next device. But really, I didn't expect to go on that tangent. Really, I just wanted to give a review on the pen and the combination of the Heart of Metal and the Boox or other e-reader note-taking device that you're looking at. Highly recommend the pen. Don't be worried about the screen. Just get yourself the right screen protector or take the risk of not doing it because I don't think it's as damaging as everyone says. And that's it. Thank you very much for your time.